Hello everybody, this is Double T Man with another under 15-minute video. This one is on the Pittsburgh Steelers 2023 off-season. Going to have to go through this quick. These are the offensive skill positions that they have under contract. The numbers beside each player is the number of years of control that the Steelers have. This group is very young, very talented, and very cheap. Pickett, franchise quarterback. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, outstanding running backs. Maybe not all pro, maybe not Pro Bowl, but they're very good. I actually like Jaylen Warren better than Najee Harris. Pat Freiermuth could easily be an all pro tight end. Maybe even a Pro Bowler in the future. Connor Hayward, he's an impact player. George Pickens, he's fast, he's strong, he's tall, he's quick, he's a really good blocker. He has outstanding hands. He has two of the best catches in NFL history. He was rated the best catcher, the best guy at catching the ball. Not necessarily the best receiver overall, but the best at catching the ball. That's his superpower kind of a thing, catching the ball. And he won out of the whole league. He did that in year one as a rookie. Amazing. I expect Kenny Pickett and Pickens as a duo to both improve a lot. And because they're going to improve a lot, they're going to improve a lot together. I expect them to be very good coming out of the chute next year. And at the end of the season, they will have improved so much, they should be fantastic at the end of the season. Diontae Johnson, he's the veteran of this group. He's been here for a while. He's got 2 more years left. Highly paid, but you know what? He's worth it. You know why I say that? Because he's the best at getting open. He was rated the best at getting open. So you got the best guy at catching the ball in George Pickens, and you got the best guy at getting open in Diontae Johnson. I wonder if Diontae Johnson can teach George Pickens a little thing about getting open. That's kind of what Pickens needs, is more experience, more learning the route running, and more about how to get open in the NFL. That's an excellent group. It is the reason why the Steelers are able to have the highest paid defense in the NFL. That's why they had it last year. That's why they're likely going to have it next year. It's why they're Super Bowl contenders. Kenny Pickett, 6'3", which is a great height. He throws accurate. He throws with anticipation. He's a good, smart runner. He throws very well on the run. He's a great leader. He's good behind the mic, which is more important than a lot of people think. He will outwork most other players, most other quarterbacks. That is his superpower. He will outwork you. And he's really good and great in extreme cold conditions. He wears 2 gloves all the time. So when it became extreme cold in Christmas time, around Christmas, when we played the Raiders, he wasn't really affected as much as everybody else across the league. Everybody else has to either choose. I'm either going to freeze my hand off by not wearing a glove, or I'm going to put a glove on and throw, and I'm not used to it. So he's always going to have that advantage, almost every other quarterback in the league, because he wears 2 gloves all the time. This is my opinion of him. He could be very good, or he is very good. He could be great, and if he marries a billionaire, he could become the greatest of all time. So again, here's the starters under contract, and here are the free agents. Not a lot of free agents as far as the skill positions go. Let's add in the offensive line. Well, we got a few more free agents there. In fact, we only have 1 backup under contract, and quite frankly, he's not any good as an offensive lineman. He's too small. He's not strong enough. I think he should move into fullback. He has that disposition of a fullback. I think he'd be really good. 5 defensive linemen are all basically the same. They all have 2 years left on their contract, except for Kevin Dodson. So it's probably most likely we want to fill something. Left guard might be the way to go. But they're all kind of the same. They're all kind of decent. You know, Cole and Daniel slightly above, the other one slightly below. They really need help here. They're going to need to bring in at least 2 linemen, maybe 3. Need at least 1 backup, and I think they need a stud. They need somebody to elevate this group. They don't really have anybody that's great. They could really, start looking to get somebody that's great. Quarterback, Pickett, Trubisky, Rudolph. Rudolph's a free agency. In a perfect world, I'd like to see them trade Mitch Trubisky. I'd rather have volunteers and hostages. And second, I'd like to sign Mason Rudolph. I like Mason Rudolph. I'd like to see them sign him to a 3-year deal. And then they could just bring in an unrestricted free agent from college and call it a day. Running back, I don't want to see him do anything. Just college unrestricted free agents from here. Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, they're both very good running backs. I actually think they can both play fullback. That, along with Connor Hayward, maybe playing some fullback too. They really don't need a fullback. Last year they had one, but he was more of a special teams player. McFarland, okay. Teague, okay. You don't really need to address it because you have such good quality here. I like Jaylen Warren more than I do Najee Harris. Like I said, that's what I think. Freiermuth, he could be an all-pro. Connor Haywood, impact player. George Pickens, tall, fast, quick. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer. Deontay Johnson, the best at getting open last year. That's fantastic. I'd like to see them bring back Miles Boykin. Calvin Austin III, I think has high potential. Prior to getting hurt, which is the Friday before the first preseason game, he was tearing it up in there. I got tearing it up in training camp. He was clearly the fastest guy on the team. No, cut Gunnar Olszewski and save some money. Let's go to the defense because that's where most of the offseason is going to go. There's not much of the offseason that needs to be done here. Sign Zach Gentry, sign Miles Boykin, cut Gunnar Olszewski, bring in a couple of backup offensive linemen, and then draft a stud, I guess. Defense is where you have most work. Cam Hayward is 34 in May. Need to manage his snaps. So he's not quite that full-time starter anymore. Marvin Leal, seems like he's too small for defensive line, too big for linebacker, kind of a tweener. Great athlete. We'll have to see what happens during the offseason. Maybe he puts on some pounds, maybe gains some strength, or maybe just learn some leverage. But he's, low floor, high ceiling still. Martavius Adams is just a guy. Tyson Alou is probably going to retire. So you definitely need a stud nose tackle, which is there's three positions in a 3-4 defense that matter the most. Nose tackle and outside linebacker. You need a nose tackle. At the other end position, Larry Ogunjobi, wouldn't mind seeing him bring him back. He played good at times. The question is, he's starting to get a little bit older. He has health issues going forward. I have no faith in Isaiah Loudermilk. He didn't get a helmet most of. I don't even know if he got a helmet last year. I have no faith in him whatsoever. So we need stud nose tackle and at least one, maybe two rotational defensive linemen. You may not necessarily need a great one because you have DeMarvin Leal and Cam Hayward still great. But if you get two really good ones, rotational kind of thing, you could work out good. Linebacker, we got issues. Out of the eight linebacker positions, 4 of them are free agents. Malik Reed and Jamar Jones are the outside linebacker backup positions. They can come, they can go, but if they go, they're going they need to sign a free agent because they don't have any. Then they can't depend on a draft pick. They need to sign a free agent backup outside linebacker. You don't want to draft one because you want to draft starters. You don't draft backups, at least early. Maybe if something pops up later, but early in the draft you don't want to because you have 2 really good outside linebackers. You do need to sign Alex Highsmith for a long-term deal. Inside linebacker Devin Bush is gone. Hopefully they'll sign Robert Spillane. That is one of the biggest deals. Sign Robert Spillane, sign Alex Highsmith. Mark Robinson, I like him, but whether he can pass coverage, whether he can become a complete linebacker is still in doubt. We'll have to see next year. Miles Jack. Now they really need an outstanding linebacker because we don't know about Robinson. Miles Jack could be gone, and he's already overpaid now. Spillane won't be great, and Bush will be gone. We could really use an outstanding inside linebacker. In secondary, you got 4 out of the top 8 positions that are free agents. I'd actually like to see them sign them all, starting with Cameron Sutton. I think he's really important, especially if you draft a cornerback. But I would like to see them sign Pierre, KZ, Edmonds. It'd be nice if they signed them all. Cap savings, what do you get from a quarterback? Well, you get about 40, 30 million. Look at this, 3 to 4 million, 46, 22, Buffalo, 39. Kansas City, you're going to get all these savings. Buffalo, all these savings. Look at this, Deshaun Watson, $50 million difference. Cleveland has no draft picks and no money. You think they're going to be competitive? Burrow's ready to sign a contract, so he is what he is. Lamar Jackson, he's going to cost some money. I'm not sure if it's for Baltimore, but it's for somebody who's going to cost money. Tua and Herbert, they can sign, and if they don't sign, they're not exactly the best competition. Like I said, with all these cap savings, the Steelers are instantaneously contenders with a rookie quarterback, with a quarterback under a rookie contract. Here's what you can do. These are some of the options. 10th highest paid defensive lineman, 13th cornerback. That's if you're saving $30 million. If you're saving $40 million, you could have number 1 cornerback, number 5 guard, and everywhere in between. This is what I have in order of the positions I need, the Steelers need. Like I said, 3-4 defense is built off a nose tackle and 2 outside linebackers. We have the 2 outside linebackers. We need the nose tackle. That's why I put nose tackle at number 1. 2 and 3, I got inside linebacker and cornerback. One of the reasons I have that is because I've put so much on the offense the last couple of years. They really need to attack that defense. They also need starting safety. They're lacking in safety. They just are. Offensive line, like I said, they need a stud offensive line. Talking high draft pick probably, or a lot of money, but probably not optional. A rotational defensive end, maybe 2 of them. Backup offensive lineman, backup outside linebacker, number 4 receiver, backup inside linebacker. How do you fill it? Well, I have 4 high draft picks going to nose tackle, inside linebacker, cornerback, and offensive line. Unfortunately, the Steelers only have 3 high draft picks. I consider first and second round to be high draft picks, third round to be semi-high, and then fourth and kind of whatever. But we only have 4, so that's going to be somewhat of an issue to get that 4th position filled. Then I have rotational defensive end, attack at free agency and a late round draft pick. So it gives you some kind of, free agency for solidness, and maybe it's an Ogunjobi or something like that, and a late pick for just a gamble. Let's see if maybe we can get something that works out. You also need a backup offensive lineman, maybe 2, outside linebacker, backup number 4 receiver. Be a day 3 pick, I think. Wouldn't go spending money on it. We already have the starters. And a backup inside linebacker. This is what I have them doing during the draft. Nose tackle, first round. It's important to get the big guy. I don't think there's going to be an offensive lineman there. There never are. They go high. Second round, I have them going from 2-1 to 2-6. I'll pick up a fourth round pick and the 6th pick in the 4th round, which is a really high 4th round pick. And I have them picking up an inside linebacker with that pick. The Steelers pick, I have them picking a cornerback. So in the top 49 picks, I have them taking a nose tackle. Excuse me. First 3 picks, I have them taking nose tackle, inside linebacker, and cornerback. You've attacked all 3 levels of the defense. 3rd and 4th round, I double up. Best offensive lineman available, doesn't really matter what position, and on the offensive line. Then in the 4th round, I have them trading down because I want to pick up the 6th round pick, so we have more picks spread out. And then in here, I just have them taking various players. You can mix and match however you want. Defensive end, wide receiver, inside linebacker, cornerback. And I just threw in quarterback at the end. Maybe, maybe not. Super Bowl contenders. The reason why they're Super Bowl contenders is because they have a franchise quarterback on a rookie contract. The 2022 class was really good. Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, excellent. Warren, very good. Hayward, very good. Now Leal, Robinson, and Austin could all be great. They could all be busts. But if they all turn out to be good or great, this could be a fantastic class. And they also have good draft capital for the next year. They have 2 picks in the 2nd round, so that gives them 3 high picks. Steelers media, where are they wrong? Draft a wide receiver high, ridiculous. They don't need it. Canada can't coach. You can't tell. 2 years ago, they had a horrible offensive line. Last year, they were playing a bunch of rookies. You can't tell if how good he is. Plus, you don't know how much he's being held up by Tomlin. Tomlin's a bad coach. Tomlin hasn't had a losing record. You are what your record says you are. A bad coach would have a losing record. Is he a great coach? No. He hasn't won enough Super Bowls. But he's not a bad coach either. Pickett has no special skills. He has a work ethic. And he's very good in extreme cold weather. And the Steelers are not Super Bowl contenders. They are absolutely Super Bowl contenders in 23. Anybody says otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. Bye.